have some friends here today who are both from the organization called Junior League, and we're going to find out a little more about that. But they are here today to talk to us and give us information about a magnificent program that you all champion. It is your major fundraiser and program in which the children at our elementaries, upon nomination, have backpacks or sacks that they carry home with food for the weekends. And what is it called? It's called a Backpack for Kids.
We call it Food to Kids.
Food to Kids. And it is, when I was approached not long after coming to San Angelo about this program, I was thrilled. And you all are so generous with the time because you all do the packing. You do the sorting and I can't even begin to tell you how many lives for kids this is impacting, because such a large percentage of our children are on the free lunch program in San Angelo, over half. And so when they go home for holidays or weekends, there sometimes is nothing of substance that's nutritional really for them to eat. And I worry about that. And this program that is modeled somewhat after programs that other cities do, you all have made it your own. And are serving many children, mainly over weekends. So I want to introduce you to these friends of ours, Angelo, Nile, and Susan Holler. And you all, one of you was this year's chairman, one of you last year?
Susan is this year's chair.
Okay.
Yes. And I was the year before.
Okay. So ladies, first of all, one of you tell us, why does the Junior League mainly exist?
Well, we are an organization of women within our community, and what we want to do is better our community. So our main purpose is just to find places within our community where a group of women can come in and we can just combat some sort of need within our community. And when we were approached by the food bank to initially start Food to Kids, we were right on board with that because that was just a need we saw within our community. And like you said, we wanted to champion that. So we still work with the Concho Valley Food Bank. I want to make that clear because they are a great team or partner within this.
We love them too.
Yeah. And without them, we wouldn't have our food, we wouldn't have the transportation, especially initiating the program. We do use a lot of community help now, so we've really broadened even our volunteer base.
Junior League in San Angelo particularly y'all don't do a lot of tooting your own horn. You don't put much in the media about your projects that you do, which often is about children, improving the quality of life for children. But I have known about what you all are doing here, and because it is impacting so many of our school children, I can't thank you enough. And I have loved to be even a sideline supporter of what you all are doing. All right, let's now talk about Food to Kids. It started with just a few of our elementaries and has grown. Right. Talk about the whole process.
In the spring of 2007, that's when the food bank approached, and we did a little pilot program then, just implementing in I think just a few schools, where we stacked bags and just to get a feel of how things would go. So we really initiated the program in the fall of 2007, so it'd be the 2007-2008 school year. And at that time, the league sacked all the sacks. The food bank purchased food. So of course, there's a lot of planning that went on before this, a lot of coordination with the schools that went on during the spring, during the pilot part of the program. But we didn't fully undertake the program until that fall. And at that time, the food bank would take food to what we call our stuffing location. It's where our food is, and we all meet there and put together sacks. in like plastic grocery bags. And those sacks go into big crates, which are delivered to the schools. But we would sack the food, and then the food bank was solely responsible for taking care of the food delivery to schools. Since that time, and at that time we had, I think by the end of our first year, we had 252 kids in the program in 8 schools. So it was pretty big.
Real big. Y'all went
that's
big
just from
fast.
the get-go. Yeah.
And if I could interrupt 1 second, what I was so impressed is that you all piloted, because we all had to figure out which kids get to do this,
Exactly.
and how do we get the information and make good choices about, because y'all couldn't feed every child, send sacks home. So I was so impressed with the form that our counselors worked with folks, and that's who you all
Right.
mainly work
Yes.
with, are our school counselors and service workers, who have a very fair form on how to pick out the children, because it's the most needy of the needy.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now keep going. So now what you all started, of our 17 elementaries, you got up to 8.
We were at 8 the first year with the 252 kids. I believe the next year we had 424. And like you talked about, we had to coordinate with some school counselors and whatnot. One of the schools had dropped out the second year. And it was just mainly finding out those little flaws, what was happening that we needed to fix, and how to get everybody on board and on the same playing field. And so that was in itself a good learning experience. The third year, we added that school back in, plus 2 others. So we had 10 schools, and we went up to 516 kids a week. So, and
A week.
a week.
A week.
Yeah. Wow.
And over holidays, we were trying to send 2 weeks of, like, over Christmas holiday, we wanted to try to send 2 weeks worth of food, or 2 weekends. We give, non-perishable, kid-friendly is what we like to term it, food items in these grocery bags, because we don't want the kids who may not have access to stoves and microwaves, and we may not want them playing with them anyways, to be able to just pop a top and eat it out of the can, or to stick a straw in the juice.
Yeah.
It doesn't require any preparation or refrigeration.
They gave me a sack when they first, some of your predecessors, of the types of food that were going to be included. And a child has more than a weekend, especially young children. It was quite a generous amount of food that you all are sending home. An older child, an active child, might eat the whole sack, but I'm incredibly impressed with what you all put in those sacks. So now we're up to the 10, how many elementaries?
We had 10 at the end of the third year, and at the end of the third year, this was the year I chaired, we started working with getting the other 7 schools on. So I was going and visiting the other 7 schools, talking about organization, giving out those forms. Let's go through them. How are you going to educate your teacher staff? And Susan did a thing with the counselors and reviewed all that to be sure that we are picking up those kids with the greatest need. Her and Greg Duke from the food bank did that at this year, because we had 7 new schools on board.
Yeah, it was a lot. We picked up a lot of schools this year, thinking that we were picking up just the remaining schools and that we had met most of the need through the neediest schools, finding schools that had the highest number of free and reduced lunch, but we actually are up to 636 kids. So we picked up over 100 kids in the last 7 schools, and honestly, we were not expecting. Yeah, we were not expecting it to be that many. But
some people feel like they certainly know that some of our elementaries have a much higher percent. There are a few elementaries that have over 80% of their children on the free lunch, and that's where you all started, and I very much supported that. But some people think that a few of our elementaries have no children on free and reduced lunch rate, and that is not true.
Right.
All of our elementaries have children that have large needs, And so I'm so grateful that you all realized that. And they may have a much lower number of kids that you all are serving at those schools, but they still have kids with equal needs.
Right.
So I was hoping and praying that you all wouldn't fatigue of this, wouldn't say, well, okay, we did this, it's gotten so big we can't keep doing it, because as our economy has gotten tougher, there are more kids with needs. I just applaud you. You haven't decreased, you've exponentially increased from 4 years ago.
Right.
Wow. Tell our audience, I alluded to of the volume and the quality that's in the sack, but let's give them an idea of what a child might take home for the weekend.
In the sack, we either do one type of protein. So we either do a peanut butter or we do some type of canned protein, so beanie weenies. I think we've done Vienna sausages. And then occasionally we have some sort of a drive where we might get Chef Boyardee type ravioli kind of stuff. Those are a little more expensive, so we don't budget for that. But if we're able to get that through donations, then we'll put those in there as well. And then we have 2 juice and 2 shelf-stable milk, so that they're getting, is that 2 servings of fruit in the juice, and then the milk, the calcium that they need. And then we usually do some kind of a fruit bar and a granola bar, and when they have the peanut butter, they get crackers with the peanut butter. Is that all of it? And then a fruit cup. So,
well, they're things that, as you use the word, that are kid-friendly. They can't hurt themselves, and yet they get nourishment and get protein and fruits. And I wish, and I've never been at the school on the Friday when they get their sacks, but you all are the quiet angels, along with the food bank and Greg Duke and his great people there, who make it possible for those kids to not go home with nothing to help them to get to Monday. Why do you feel this is a great program for the Junior League to sponsor?
This program, well, like you said, we get to be quiet angels, number one, but we have the capability and the membership that if we have lots of community help right now. I want to say that. We have a great community in San Angelo.
Oh, I agree.
And people step up in groups, and I think Susan's been bombarded this year with volunteers wanting to come help stuff sacks, and they want to do more than what we even have the capability of letting them do right now. But if we didn't have that, we would still have this nice membership base to be sure those sacks still went out. And also, I think we like to have that capability of helping children.
Yeah, who through no decision or choice of their own might not have anything at their home that weekend. Right. What are the major fundraisers that you do in order to purchase the things to go in these sacks?
Our major fundraisers within the league, we have Mistletoe Magic, which is our Christmas fundraiser. This year we actually had it at the end of November, but it's a really fun breakfast with Santa kind of thing. We had a style show in January where we had a Western theme this year, and that theme changes yearly, but that's a really fun lunch, brunch kind of thing, and a lot of the members and community people will come and model for us, and that's really a lot of fun. And we have a Western dance, which is probably our biggest fundraiser, where we have a band and people go and dance and have a supper,
and given to a worthy cause.
Yes. And with all of them, we try to present our projects. At any of our fundraisers that we have, we present our projects.
Well, is there anything else that how could our listeners know how they could help?
Well, we always accept donations.
And how would they donate to the Junior League?
If they were going to donate specifically to Food to Kids, that would need to be in a memo of their check or in a note that's written that this, because we have the, everything separated out a bit because we still have operational costs as well. So getting their money to go directly to Food to Kids, that would need to be memoed on their check.
And send where?
To the Junior League office.
Well, we just changed
P.O.
locations,
box.
so we have
we have a P.O. box. But
they can also go online, and the address should be online. www.jlsa.
Junior League of San Angelo, JLSA.org. Google it. Google Junior League of San Angelo.
Why didn't I bring my book?
It's okay. It's okay. We have very sophisticated technology folks in San Angelo. Because there will be people who will want to, and it thrills me that there are volunteers to come and help SAC. Because they just want to help kids. Right. They may not be able to give money, but they give of their time.
That's another option is if you want to just volunteer some time, or if you want to deliver crates to schools. We have a lot of community volunteers or businesses that coordinate to deliver. Churches deliver. Church groups have come and stuffed. We've had both like Sunday school groups and youth groups, and We've had Lee Scouts. Middle School, a group of kids from Lee has come and helped, and Girl Scouts.
Where do you stuff?
We have a stuffing site at the mall. It's a closed storefront, and we come in the back door, and we have tables set up, so it's kind of like going down the line, an assembly line kind of thing.
Well, you all have, this is a gift, and I can't thank you enough, and I hope that there are those who will become aware of this now and participate in whatever manner that they can, either through time or through donations to help feed children on the weekends of San Angelo. 638 right now. We got up to 641, so 638. Well, ladies, thank you so much.
Thanks for
what a great gift you are.
Thank you.